A bipartisan group of lawmakers introducing new legislation now to combat the recent surge of people abusing the drug xylazine, also more commonly known as Tranq. It is so easy to spot its influence on too many American streets. The veterinary tranquilizer meant for large mammals, often mixed with fentanyl, and its effects: depressed breathing and heart rate, unconsciousness, even rotting flesh, causing some to call it a zombie drug. An overdose of Tranq cannot be reversed with Narcan, creating an even higher risk of death. And here to talk with us about how this drug is upending her own city of Philadelphia, Cohen, founder and executive director of the nonprofit The Grace Project. Thank you so much for being here, Megan.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So, Megan, we've seen in recent weeks what this deadly drug is capable of, and it is so distressing to hear it's now in 48 states. What have you seen personally in Philadelphia where this is all cropped up?
You know, it's nothing new to Philadelphia. It's something that's gotten more attention now. For a while, just fentanyl was getting recognition out there. Xylazine has been around since the early 2000s. Recently, it's like recent studies have shown that it's in more than 90% of the drug supply that's out in Philadelphia. And what we're seeing when we're out there, the wounds that we're seeing are not what we are used to, especially over this past year. Another big problem that we're seeing is people aren't willing to go to detox because the withdrawal symptoms, they're just getting detox for opiates and not the actual xylazine. So a lot of detox protocols aren't updated. It's keeping people from going to treatment, or it's causing them to leave after we place them. You know, we see them out there the next week because they're not getting treated the way that they should to treat their symptoms. So the impact that it's having is huge. You know, the numbers are just rising out there. The overdoses are just rising, and the lethal ones at that, because Narcan isn't enough to reverse an overdose.
Yeah, tell me more about the detox, because I think this is a topic that isn't covered enough. There is actually a detox process and significant withdrawal symptoms from Tranq itself. It's not just fentanyl. Is that right?
Absolutely. So what would typically, now there, because it's something that's newer, there's not actual studies backing all this, but what we're seeing is that people that go in that were, into detox, that were also using xylazine, what's helping their withdrawal symptoms is more of like a benzo taper. So when they're not getting that, they're getting extremely sick, and they can't stay. You know, detox just from opiates alone, or just benzos alone, is a horrible, horrible detox. You know, I've been through it myself, and I can speak on that. So a lot of times, because they're not getting their symptoms treated properly, they're leaving. And it's tough because it's something that's just now starting to get brought to the light. So a lot of places aren't updated on what they should do. And there's not enough that's known about it. I mean, this isn't something that was meant for human consumption.
Right.
So it's causing a lot of barriers in that way.
Oh, I mean, there's such a visceral reaction to seeing some of these videos. What do you want our viewers, what do you want people to understand when they are seeing people slumped over, people with open wounds?
I mean, more than anything, I want them to understand that these are people out there. You know, everyone is so drawn to Kensington because it's this different animal, it's this different beast, it's an open air drug market. At the end of the day, these are people, everyone that's out there. Myself, I was out there. And a lot of times I think that people kind of just turn a blind eye to it because it's easier to think, oh, this isn't affecting us. But again, like that, a lot of times the trends that start in Philadelphia, they branch out into all of the other areas. So ignoring it isn't going to make it go away. It's not going to keep it from, hitting home for you. I want people to understand that everyone out there matters, and that they're just sick, and that this isn't something, there wasn't any type of alert that went out, hey, if you're using out in Kensington, xylazine is going to come into the supply. And next thing you know, people that want to get clean and want to get sober, they're trying to go into treatment, and they're getting these withdrawal symptoms that they've never experienced before. And they don't know how to handle it. So, understanding the reality and trying to break that stigma is what I want people to see when they're looking at these videos. Everyone out there matters. I looked like this at one point as well. And people need to help. People need to try to be there and support the area, and scream loud for detox protocols to be updated, and for people to be more educated on what's going on out there. Because again, it might start in Kensington. It might not be affecting every place surrounding us the way that it's affecting Philadelphia, but it's coming. If we
Yeah.
don't stay up with times, it's coming.
I hear you, Megan. It is coming. And the DEA in this latest report saying that, Tranq has now shown up in 48 out of 50 states. This is not a Philadelphia problem. And I know you've certainly seen firsthand what's happening in Philly. I truly appreciate your time. Megan Cohen, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.